Hey class, welcome to week 2 of this Foundations of Christian Theology class. Just a few reminders as we embark on week 2. Um, do please remember to complete your discussion board content by 11:59 on the respective days. That is, starting a thread by Wednesday, 11:59, and responding to at least one other student's thread by 11:59 on Friday. Quizzes open at 12:01 a.m. each Friday and close at 11:59 p.m. on each Sunday. So do please keep that in mind. For those essays that we've been talking about, and I've received a lot of questions about those, either use MLA format or APA format, whatever you are more comfortable with, but quotations and such things need to be cited appropriately. Do please also use 750 to 800 words. If you're using APA format, the 750 to 800 words does not include things like the title page or your bibliography. It's 750 to 800 words of original content. If you have very slightly under or very slightly over, that's fine. If you have way under or way over, we have a problem. So hopefully that clarifies things there. What else? Obviously, no artificial intelligence is allowed. You obviously must compose your papers entirely on a Google Docs file. It seems like most of you have done pretty well with that so far, just so I can see that edit history. Again, I don't like it. You probably don't like it. Nobody likes it. But alas, that's the environment that we live in these days with technology and temptations to circumvent the writing process. If things look largely copy and pasted from your paper, I will ask you about it, and I will ask you for your notes in your writing process. If you give me a Google Docs file of notes that was just created 2 seconds after I asked you for them, that's going to raise some more eyebrows, namely mine. Guys, just write your own original essays. Even if you get marked down here and there little things for grammar or whatnot, it is much better to have your original essay written by you than to have something that we have to go back and forth endlessly on over suspicion of AI usage. So just getting that out of the way, reiterating the fact that generative AI is not allowed in any way, shape, or form in discussion board, essay composition, or anywhere in the class. So just in case that was not clear, it is clear now, I hope. Also, a couple of you have asked, and this is a good question, about how much of either the readings, that is either Strobel or Mueller, or scripture we are to cite for, or you are to cite for these theology essays and reflections. For your theology essays, since those are based on Mueller, except for 1 week later down the road, but you'll see that. Since those are based on Mueller, 3 quotes from Mueller, not long ones to make up, huge amounts of your paper, but supporting your arguments, and 3 quotes from scripture for a theology essay. For your reflections, 3 quotes from Strobel and 3 quotes from scripture. Not totally random scripture that has to do with, well, maybe this one thing, but show that you're actually implementing scriptural understanding into what Strobel or Mueller is saying. If you're completely unfamiliar with the Bible and don't know how to approach that at all, you can feel free to ask me and we can talk about it. But wanted to get that out of the way as well. As far as material for this week goes, let's see. Mueller's chapters get into some more thick vocabulary, we'll say. Excuse me, when it comes to God's nature, specifically his triune nature. This reading also gets into some questions you might have in your nursing studies, like the relationship between faith and religion. Some of you guys wrote about that in your discussion board content last week. For Strobel, he really gets into the reliability of the Gospels because they are, in fact, accurate histories and not simply, subjective diary entries or things that might have been mistaken because different people saw it from different angles and those sorts of things. You have chapters 3 and 4 titled the documentary evidence and the corroborating evidence, respectively. So are Jesus's biographies, these Gospels, reliable? What about other writings that claim to be his biographies as well? Why do we discount some but only count Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? You'll get some good food for thought on those topics. Again, just reiterating what I said before, generative AI is not allowed in any way, shape, or form. Be sure to follow the Google Docs protocol when submitting papers. Keep any notes, outlines, etc. That you use, and if I ask for those, be ready to give those to me. It's exhausting. It's better to just write your own essay so that it does not raise suspicion of AI usage. So, anyway, that's all I have for this week. If you have any questions about anything, be sure to let me know. But I will see you at the discussion board.